Hey guys, how's it going? This is Ruben from Smoking Aces Barbecue, and today I'm going to show you how to make a French onion soup from scratch. So first things first, let's start off. We'll cut our onions. We'll use this to put our onions in. All right, so what we're going to start off with, we're going to put a little bit of oil in our pot. This is what we're going to cook, or we're going to sweat our onions in. So we put this right here for now. What you want to do is grab your onions, cut them down the middle from pole to pole. I'm going to cut off the ends, and we're going to julienne these onions. Again, as we've said before, proper holding of your onion. 4 fingers in front, 1 thumb behind. I'm just going to cut away from you. Of course, you all know how I'm going to do it. All you can do is do this, the rest of your onions the same way. All right, so our next step is once these are all julienned up, we're going to put them on the stove, start heating them up. What we're going to do is just start stirring a little bit to get some of that oil, some coating. If you need to, you can put a little bit more oil on it. Looks like I might have to. So when you sweat the onion, you want to sweat it at a lower temperature. You don't want to do it too high, because if you do it too high, then all you're doing is frying your onion. So sweating is done at a lower temp. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. So we're just going to let them sit in here for a little bit. And get a garlic. They got about 4 teeth. These are called teeth, for those that you don't know. All you're gonna do is crush it and take off the peel. Again, all you're gonna do is sit here, crush. And we're really more using this for flavor than anything else. So we're not going to cut this, we just throw them in like this. So we'll put these inside our onions. Give it another stir. As you see, the onions are starting to turn a little lighter, more translucent. We don't want to brown them, we don't want to caramelize these. All right, now so our onions have been sweating for a little bit, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our thyme, our bay leaves, and our Cabernet wine, and we're going to put it inside the onions for a little longer. So as you can see, the onions, they've been sweating, so see they're not caramelized, they're actually getting translucent, and that's what you want. You don't want to caramelize your onions for a French onion soup. So all we're going to do is we're just going to throw these in there like this. It's not going to hurt it. A lot of people say, ah, don't do that, but it's okay. Again, I like rustic. So we're going to throw all our herbs in there. We're going to add our red wine. This is about 1/2 cup. And then we're just going to stir these and just mix them up. You're going to see the onions are going to start turning a purplish color, the color of the Cabernet. We're just going to let these cook a little longer, sweat a little longer with all this so that it absorbs. And you should start smelling the wine starting to cook up with the herbs and mix up. I'm going to leave this for about another 5 minutes like this. All right, now so our onions have been sweating with the red wine for a minute. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add our beef broth. So as you can see, the onions have absorbed that wine. It turned purple. So now what we want to do is we're going to add our beef broth. That's about good. So we're just going to let this sit for a little bit. Bring up the heat a little to get it to a simmer. What we're going to do is one of the last steps we're going to do is we're going to start our broiler. We should turn on right now. What we're going to do once this is done, we're going to serve the soup inside a coffee mug, or you can get a bowl. And then we're gonna put the soup in it, put a little bit of mozzarella on top with the croutons underneath the mozzarella, And the broiler, what it's gonna do is gonna melt your cheese and crisp it up on top. All right, so now our French onion soup's been sitting here with its beef stew and it's came up to a simmer. I just brought the temperature down. As you can see, it's just a little fizz on top. This is what you want. Once it's this, your beef broth has gotten hot enough like this, it's ready to go. The only thing I'm gonna do now is salt to taste. Remember, I don't like to add salt till the very end. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt. And again, it's to taste, so depending on how you see it, is what you wanna add. So I'm just gonna mix what I've already put in there. I'm just gonna taste it. Just make sure you blow on the broth because it's super hot. Okay, that's about where I like it, so I'm gonna leave it there. And the only thing we gotta do is I'm gonna turn this off. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our mug or your bowl, a ladle. We're just gonna ladle some of this into your bowl or remember, leave some room on top because you're gonna put in some croutons or you're gonna put in your little piece of bread in there and your cheese, your little raft. We're gonna add our croutons underneath and your cheese. I like a lot of cheese. So. All right, so now it's in there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this and put it inside the oven so the broiler cooks down onto the cheese. I'm gonna use a little tray because the racks are a little wide. So I'm gonna get this, put it in here, close it, and just check on it every once in a while. So what you wanna do is you wanna let the cheese melt and get a little crispy on top. All right, so our French onion soup's been sitting in the oven for a little while. So now we're gonna take a look at it. You see how it's starting to sizzle and it's starting to get crispy on top. That means your soup is ready to go. That's all we're looking for, a little sizzle, a little crispy on top. You can get it more crispy if you want. Obviously, this mug has been in the oven for a little bit, so what you want to do is you want to let it cool off a little bit so you don't grab it with your hand and burn yourself. All right. Thank the French for their delicious contribution to food. This onion soup is a great must-have, especially for those cold, snowy days that we never have here in San Diego. But it's still great to have this savory recipe for any occasion. In this recipe, if you want to be able to remove the thyme before serving, all you have to do is tie the thyme with butcher's twine and remove it before you serve. I hope you enjoy this delicious soup, and like always, please share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me a comment or a question, and I'll see you on the next one.